An anti-sunscreen movement has been making the rounds on TikTok, with posters urging people to avoid slathering on the SPF before going out in the sun.
Sunscreen blocks UV light. We need UV light.
My sunscreen is bad for you.
Here's why I don't wear sunscreen.
I think sunscreen causes skin cancer.
For more on this, I'm joined now by Halifax dermatologist Dr. Carrie Purdy. So first off, how concerning is this trend in your view?
Yeah, this is a very concerning trend. Certainly as a dermatologist, we want to ensure that people are being sun safe. We know a lot about the sun's harmful rays, and so misinformation can be very problematic when people are getting their information from these types of sources. We generally want people to be sun safe with the use of sunscreen and other sun protective methods.
Now, some are contending there are potentially harmful chemicals in the sunscreen. What should folks be aware of when it comes to what they're buying, say, at the drugstore or the grocery store, when it comes to the SPF and the safety of what they're doing to protect their skin?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there's lots of different types of sunscreen. When patients have, or when people have concerns about different types of sunscreen, I'll often walk them through the types of sun protection that we have available. So there are organic sun protection, so zinc and titanium dioxide containing. There's also inorganic that have more of what people might consider a quote unquote chemical sunscreen. All of these things are very carefully vetted before being put on the market in Canada. A simple thing for people to kind of pay attention to if they're going to the drugstore saying, what is a good sunscreen for me, is to find a broad spectrum photo-stable sunscreen. And you may say, well, how do I do that? And an easy way to do it is to look for a logo that's made by the Canadian Dermatology Association. And that means that it's a broad spectrum UVA, UVB, photo-stable and low irritant type of sunscreen. And that's on a variety of different products that you can find on the shelves.
Now, what about the social media posts that are saying, well, people need sun exposure for vitamin D and just to get that general mood lift from being outside in the warm weather?
So this has come around many, many times over my career thus far. And certainly we're not suggesting that people hole up in a cave. And so, being outdoors in the sun is something that we try to have people avoiding that direct sun exposure between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., which is the highest peak time for UV. Sun protective clothing can also be very helpful. Reapplying sunscreen, seeking shade, but it doesn't mean you can't spend time outdoors. The vitamin D piece is sometimes a little bit tricky, but people do get vitamin D simply from, say, walking to their car with the amount of sun they're getting on their hands and their face on the daily basis. Vitamin D supplements are also readily available, and many people get most of their vitamin D through diet as well. So certainly we're not advocating for people to never go outside or enjoy the summer, but just to do it safely. And don't forget the eyes with sunglasses.
All right, well, some good advice, Dr. Purdy. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome.